Did you know there's a simple way to make your shots more interesting? Just use the intersection of thirds. So have a look at this shot here. So this is your typical everything in the middle shot. We've got people walking and, it's a record of a time and a place. But it could be much more interesting if we use the intersection of thirds to actually help us. So here we have the shot centered, using the intersection of thirds to help us give space to the subjects themselves. Now, the important thing to remember here is that we can do a number of things here, and it's all down to what it is that we want. But in general, what I'm talking about here is giving things, people, space to look into, walk into, run into. So let's have a look at this. That's what I've decided to do here. I've pushed them over on the right-hand side, whereas I could do it on the left-hand side, but they've left that space. There's less going on. I took the decision that we've got these people eating and then there's skulls in the background. That's less obvious here in this particular shot. So every device you have gives you an ability to turn on a rule of thirds grid of some sort. So here on the phone, it's got an automatic grid set into it. You can turn it on, turn it off if you wish. And each of these has an intersection point where the lines lie over each other. The same is true on the camera. We've got a grid that we can call up and get rid of if we want it gets in the way. But I find that keeping it up all the time really, really helps. Now you can also do this on this particular camera. I can actually have a viewfinder grid display that gives me the rule of thirds as well. That helps me see that in a glass viewfinder. These are older cameras. The more modern cameras that have the electronic viewfinders, then you'll have the rule of thirds grid coming up with you on that as well. So there's a lot of decision making that goes on here. But if we look at the image again, you see what we're talking here is don't put it in the center, put it off to the left or to the right. In this case, I have it to the right because I don't feel off to the left works. And what I've done here is I've put everything in where this intersection point is going on over here. So that's the interesting space for me to be able to compose that shot so that it looks more interesting. Now, if you don't have a grid, and certainly older cameras and the viewfinders, the glass viewfinders, they don't have those, then these focus points themselves may be able to help you. So in general, you'll find that the top ones are at or near the thirds, top and bottom. And then the right-hand side ones also can be used to compose and place your subjects where you want them to be. Now, it's important to remember, rule of thirds is not a rule, it's a guideline. So you can use those focus points to be able to do that for you as well. So there's a simple way to make your shots more interesting. Just use the intersection of thirds.